The very money system that built the first engines of American prosperity isn't just forgotten, it's buried in economic textbooks and lost to modern financial debates. Even though it once powered a young nation's rise from colonial backwater to world economic force, by the end of this video, you'll understand not just what that system was, but why we no longer use it, and what that disappearance means for our financial future. This is Macro Rewind, and today we're rewinding to a money system so powerful, so fundamental to early American growth, that without it, the United States might never have become the superpower we know. If you want more deep dives like this, hit like and subscribe, and stick around. Because what you're about to learn will flip how you see money in America forever. Imagine America in the late 1700s, a ragtag collection of colonies just freed from British rule, with no formal credit, no central bank, and no agreed-upon national currency. Instead of dollars flowing through the economy, what if I told you that land itself was money? That the government, desperate, broke, and fighting to make ends meet, built the financial infrastructure of the nation on the backs of farms, forests, and frontier acreage. This wasn't theory, it was practice. It might even seem absurd today, yet it worked. And more importantly, it shaped America's destiny in ways most people have never heard. Let's wind back to the moment of crisis. The Revolutionary War had just ended, and the new government was strapped with massive debts. Congress couldn't tax. States fought over currency and credit. There was no Federal Reserve to lean on. So what did the founders do? They looked at the only real store of value available in abundance: land, fertile, unclaimed, stretching from the eastern seaboard to the unknown mountains and plains beyond. This decision to build a monetary system on land wasn't random. It was a strategic gamble, one that redefined property, value, and credit. Land was real, with tangible use and productive potential. It could be surveyed, parceled, sold, and taxed. And most importantly, it was infinitely expandable as America pushed westward. But here's what most people never realize. Land wasn't just property, it was money, collateral, and credit all in one. The government began issuing land certificates that were effectively currency. Farmers and settlers could claim land in exchange for debts or taxes. Veterans who served in the war were paid with land grants. Land-backed notes circulated in the economy like money. People bought and sold these certificates, not because they liked the smell of dirt, but because they knew they could convert it into wealth. In a world with no banks, no Federal Reserve, and no stable minted currency, land filled the role of money with spectacular effectiveness. Now ask yourself, how does that compare to today's money digits on a screen? Credit scores, debt obligations, and central bank policies. Modern money is abstract and controlled by institutions most people don't understand. But back then, money was a plot of ground you could walk on, farm, build a home on, and pass down to your children. That connection between money and real land gave the early republic a grounded stability. And more importantly, it gave citizens real skin in the economic game. This isn't nostalgic fluff, it's factual history. The Land Ordinance of 1785 and the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 weren't simply settlement policies, they were fundamental monetary policy tools. Survey townships, sell the land to raise revenue, and use that revenue to pay debts. No printing presses, no central banks, no interest rate targets, just land as money. As settlers poured west, land became the engine of credit. A farmer with 200 acres could borrow against his land to buy tools or livestock. Merchants could use their holdings as collateral. Land banks sprouted up, offering credit based on acreage. Suddenly, America wasn't money poor anymore. It was credit rich, backed by the endless frontier. But here's where tension builds. This system, for all its ingenuity, planted the seeds of its own undoing. As the 19th century progressed, America grew, but its monetary system strained. Speculation ran rampant. Land prices skyrocketed. Boom and bust cycles exploded across the frontier. Towns would spring up overnight, fueled by easy credit, then vanish when the bubbles popped. Sound familiar? It should. These were the early prototypes of the credit cycles we study today. The defining point of collapse came with the Panic of 1837. A financial crisis triggered by collapsing land prices, rampant speculation, and a government unwilling to back paper money without precious metal or solid banking structures. President Andrew Jackson, distrusting banks and concentrated financial power, vetoed the recharter of the Second Bank of the United States. and ordered federal funds into pet banks. Then he issued the specie circular, demanding land be purchased only with gold and silver. But gold and silver were scarce. Credit froze. Land sales collapsed. The economy tanked. Thousands lost farms. Credit dried up, and a depression followed that lasted years. Now here's the twist most history books gloss over: the collapse of this land-based money system didn't just change economic policy, it changed America's conception of money itself. The faith in land as money gave way to faith in banks, centralized currency, and abstract credit instruments, the very mechanisms that power our financial system today. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, the United States was rapidly industrializing. Big business, railroads, and massive capital investments demanded new financial tools. Centralized banking, national currency, and eventually the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 replaced the old frontier monetary order. Land was no longer money. It became just another asset class, one among many, rather than the bedrock of national financial identity. Here's where it gets really interesting. What we use today, fiat money, credit markets, fractional reserve banking, debt as a growth engine, are all rooted in responses to the failures of the land-based system. Modern money isn't just currency, it's debt. It's obligations backed by the promise of future growth, central planning, and interest rate manipulation. It's a system that expanded credit at scale, but also created tools for bubbles, leverage, and systemic risk. Ask yourself, did we evolve beyond the land system because it was inferior? Or because the nature of the economy changed from farming to industrial production, from self-sufficient homesteads to global capital markets? The truth is, we didn't choose a new system because it was better for people. We chose a new system because the scale of economic complexity demanded tools the old system couldn't provide. But that doesn't mean the old system was without wisdom. The connection between money and tangible value, something real people could touch and see, established trust in the earliest American economy. It anchored value where people understood it, in land, work, and production. Today, money floats more like a digital ghost, created and destroyed through banking reserves. Central bank policy and financial markets most everyday citizens never see. And here's the part that ties all of this to you right now. As America grapples with debt, economic inequality, and financial instability, the question isn't just academic, it's practical. What gives money real value? Who controls its creation? And how does that control shape prosperity or collapse? The forgotten land money system reminds us that money doesn't have to be something abstracted away, something only elite institutions manage. It was once rooted in productive value, tangible assets, and real economic incentives. That history might hold insights for debates raging today about alternative monetary systems, decentralized finance, and new models of credit that could reshape the next century. So before we close, let me leave you with this question. If land once was money, could real assets reclaim a role in how we think about value again? Could trust in money stem not from policies and institutions, but from something people can genuinely hold in their hands? It's not just history, it's the foundation for how money might evolve next. Comment below with your take. Was the land-based monetary system a lost opportunity, a necessary phase, or a historical curiosity with lessons we desperately need today? Share this with someone who cares about money, history, economics, or the future of finance. And remember this one fact above all: the money that built early America wasn't printed, it was claimed. That's the forgotten money system that built a nation. And the reason we no longer use it matters more than ever.